Hi everyone, it's Britt Chandler, and I just got done making a culling video for these images, and I figured I might as well do another little tutorial video with how I edit my product and food photography. Um, I've never learned professionally. This is something I just kind of taught myself, and I thought I could share my tips with everybody. So to get started, I always batch edit everything. So for this one, I'm going to batch edit using white balance first. So I'm going to kind of get, as close to a correct white balance as I can using the white balance selector. And I just click on a white, piece within the image. I kind of watch up here and see what's happening. That looks pretty good. It's a little pink. So I'm going to pull down the magenta a little bit without making it too green. The warmth looks pretty good. I want it a little bit warmer, maybe just a tad bit cooler though. So I'm going to pull that down just a little bit. So whenever I'm editing, sometimes I feel like my eyes are playing tricks on me and my correct white balance is not correct. So I just hit the Y key on my keyboard and it will show me a before and after and, my straight out of the camera shot and then what I have right now. So you can see, that white balance is really off. And this is definitely looking better. It still looks a little cool, but I kind of like it. So I'm just going to keep it like that. And I'm going to boost the exposure a tiny bit. I usually like brighter images. I usually have whites blown. That's just kind of my personal style. And then I'm going to apply Luminous, one of my favorite presets. Definitely my favorite preset from the Authentic set. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to edit it just a tad. I'm going to pull down this little, I'm not sure what these are called, little buttons. Pull it down just because sometimes the shadows get kind of clipped. Not for this image, but it might in the rest of them. I'm going to show you why that matters in a second. I'm also going to double click to bring the, my whites to 0 because this kind of blows them even more than they already are. So since I have that done, I kind of like how everything is. So I'm going to hold down Shift. I have my first image selected. I'm going to hold down Shift and click on my last image. And I'm going to hit Sync. And then I'm going to come up here and hit Check None because I want to manually choose what I want everything to, what I want to sync up specifically. So my white balance, they're probably going to differ because the clouds were in and out the whole time I was shooting this, but I think it'll be a good starting point. So I'm going to sync my white balance. I'm going to sync my exposure because I think they're all pretty similar. I'm going to sync my blacks. I'm kind of looking over here to see what I have changed. So my clarity, my tone curve, and then, my color treatment. So I'm going to click both of these. And I haven't touched anything else. When I'm doing the synchronization and the batch editing, I always make sure that I click Check None and manually choose what I want because otherwise, if I have local adjustments, if I have cropped, if I have spot removal, any of these things that are specific to that image, it gets really wonky and things are popping up all over the place. So I make sure that those are never checked when I do this batch editing. So I'm going to hit Synchronize. And then you can kind of see one by one all the images are getting edited with these settings that I just applied to this image. So they're still going to need tweaks, but it's going to make things a lot quicker. And the more I look at this image, I feel like it still looks kind of green. I might have added a little too much magenta or taken away too much magenta. It's hard to tell when I look at something for too long. So I like that a little bit more. I'm actually going to show you now that I changed that. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to select all by holding down Shift, click Sync. I'm going to hit Check None, and I'm just going to do the white balance to change that magenta for all of those images. So I'm going to hit Shift again and unselect all of them. And now I'm going to edit just this one image. So I already have the preset applied that I love. It's just a little bit of a matte. It kind of brightens up the image. And I'm going to go to my adjustment brushes, and I have made my own special sharpen details for these product shoots. I made this brush specifically for this, and what I did is I just took the exposure down a bit, boosted the clarity, boosted the sharpness, and then I come up here and I click Save Settings as a new preset, and then I type in the name. So it's really easy to do, but I always do this to all my images, all my product images. I thought, why not just make a quick little brush for that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush over, what's in focus and what I want to be, more detailed. And to change the size of the brush, you can hit the bracket keys on your keyboard to change everything. And then I like to see, I'm really into, as you know, I like to see before and after. So my after is looking much, much better than my before. But I also like to turn these on and off and see what I'm doing here. So you can see it's kind of darkening the shot just a little bit. Not too much that it's severely underexposed, but I kind of like what I have going on here. It's definitely sharper, which I want for this image. As you can see, it's a really thin slice of focus and everything else is kind of blurry. So that's how I do that for my product photography, I'll call it. I don't really know what it is, food photography. It's just for fun, but I've been really enjoying it lately. So that's kind of how I go about that. So that's before and after. Big difference. White balance, I think, is the biggest change there. So the next one is already adjusted with the settings from the first one, so white balance and everything else. This one looks a little bit cooler than that last one did, so I'm going to warm it up just like a teensy bit. Sometimes if the sun's in and out and there's shadows and everything else, the clouds are rolling through, the batch editing with the white balance and exposure doesn't always, sometimes they need tweaks, and that's fine, but it's still a better starting point than what I was at with this, so it already looks much better. And my preset has been applied to all of them because of the tone curve in these settings up here. So this one looks a little bright right here, but I think that will change when I use my sharpening brush and kind of paint this on. It's still pretty bright, but I don't mind it so much. So let's see what that looks like. That's with it off, that's with it on. It's before and after, much better. So that's that, and I'm just going to go through and kind of tweak whatever I think I need to tweak. Here I'm seeing this little crumb that's probably going to drive me crazy, so I'm going to go to my little healing clone brush. I have heal selected, and to make the brush bigger, again, you use the bracket keys, and it's going to choose where it pulls from. So like if you move this around, you're going to grab what, oopsies, made that bigger. You're going to grab whatever it's grabbing. So I like that nice clean piece right there. Get that other little one. I don't want you to grab the green, I want you to grab the white. So alright, so I can turn those on and off. It's just little crumbs. Now I'm going to again sharpen up the muffin, get the details in. So that's what it looks like off and on, before and after. And I'm just going to go through and do that to all of these images, and then I'm going to export them. But that is my process for editing like product, food, whatever you want to call it, images in Lightroom. So thanks for watching.